Chapter 14. Henry. Henry looked about the store. It definitely looked different after all their work. More open and refreshing, and so far he'd received nothing but compliments about the new setup. But he didn't know if those compliments were translating into more business. He'd still seen more people at the new store, and the town had been talking about it for days.
Lord, please bring the business.
Before he could finish his prayer for help, the door to his shop flew open and Willie entered carrying a box.
"This just came for you on the coach, Mr. Brown,"
he said, grinning widely.
"The station master said I should bring it over."
"Thank you, Willie."
For a moment, Henry wondered what could be in the box. And then his eyes lit up. The Montgomery Ward order. It had to be.
"It wasn't too heavy. What's in there?"
"Hopefully something I ordered from the catalog. Let's take a look."
Henry took the box and carried it back to the counter. He sliced open the tape and then lifted the flaps of the box. Right on top were the curtains. 2 long panels of heavy brocade fabrics in a deep red color. He lifted them out and set them aside. Underneath was a set of sheer curtains and a few flyers advertising popular items.
"Well, I'll be."
It wasn't that he'd thought Miss Lockwood was lying, but he hadn't expected the items to come as quickly as they had, or be so nice. This would not only save time, but money. If he could just keep basic necessities in the store and then place orders for people once a week or so, he could make a decent profit. Now he simply needed to spread the word. The community board they'd just put up would be the perfect place to hang the catalog. But he needed to get people in the door as well.
"Willie, how would you like to earn yourself a few pieces of penny candy?"
The boy's eyes grew to the size of quarters.
"Boy, would I! What do you need me to do?"
"I need you to tell everyone you can to come to the store to place specialty orders. You can show them this paper."
He grabbed one of the flyers that had come with the order and handed it to Willie.
"But don't lose it, and be sure and tell them about the curtains, how pretty they are. When you're done, we'll hang one in the window and one on the community board. Do you think you can do that?"
The boy looked over the paper and nodded sagely at Henry.
"I can do it. But if I do a really good job, can I get candy for my little sister too?"
Henry had forgotten that Willie had a little sister, a little blonde girl who couldn't be more than 4 years old. It was kind of the boy to want to share with his sister.
"I'll tell you what,"
Henry said, leaning closer to Willie.
"I'll give you a piece of candy for every one you can get to place an order."
Though it didn't seem possible, Willie's eyes widened even more.
"A candy for every order?"
"Every one," Henry said with a nod. "But you can't just send them here and hope I'll sell them. They have to come in ready to order something."
Willie thought for a minute, and then he pulled his shoulders back and puffed out his chest.
"I can do it, Mr. Brown. You just wait and see."
Henry had no doubt the boy would succeed. He was fearless, loquacious, and determined. The boy would probably talk people's ears off until they agreed to come in. But Henry knew that once people realized what he could offer them now, they'd be coming in on their own. And for the first time, he rather hoped the railroad would come through their town, because it would mean items would arrive even faster. As soon as Willie left the store, Henry called up the stairs for Miss Lockwood to come down. He couldn't wait to show her the wares.
"What is it, Mr. Brown?" she asked when she reached the main level. "Did you need some additional help in the shop today?"
"No, not today. I wanted to show you the curtains. The catalog order we placed came in."
Miss Lockwood's eyes lit up.
"It did? Oh, I hope the fabric is beautiful. Sometimes it's hard to tell just by pictures, but I was hoping they would be similar to the curtains in the Thompson house."
Though a sour taste filled his mouth at the mention of the Thompsons, he pushed it aside. This wasn't about Harold or their feud. It was about Miss Lockwood, and he couldn't wait to see what she thought.
Well, I think you're going to be pleased.
He held up the curtains for her, delighted when she reached out to run her hand over them.
They are beautiful, and they look just like I imagined they would. Maybe I can convince Mrs. Nelson to get them for her house so I can see them every day. Even if she doesn't, though, I doubt you'll have any trouble selling them.
I think you're right. I can't thank you enough for the idea and the nudge to order something.
Miss Lockwood looked up at him, her eyes brimming with emotion.
I was happy to help. I want your store to do well. You're the kindest man I think I've ever met.
Though she dropped her eyes as soon as she uttered the words, it did not stop the heat from creeping across Henry's face.
Well, thank you, Miss Lockwood. I think you are rather kind yourself. In fact, I was hoping to invite you to church this Sunday. I know I should probably ask to court you at Miss Nelson's first, but seeing as how we're both older and we've been working together, I thought that might suffice.
She lifted her eyes to look at him, her mouth parted in what he hoped was surprise.
You want to take me to church?
I do. I like having you here, Miss Lockwood, and I like talking to you. I know I'm older, and I don't have much to offer you, but I'd be interested in courting you if you'd be willing to take a chance on a widower like me.
She stared at him for a minute, and he wondered desperately what she was thinking. He could see the hesitation in her eyes, but he didn't know why.
I would enjoy going to church with you, but there's something I need to tell you first.
What is it?
He couldn't imagine what she might have to say that would have her looking so serious.
When I was in Chicago, I worked at a saloon. I wasn't a working girl by any means. I was more of a server. I took orders for drinks and delivered them, but it didn't matter to the people in Chicago. They all still looked down on me for my choice in career. It's why I never married.
Oh.
He had expected her to say she was feeling sick, or that she didn't like church, but he hadn't expected this.
I'll completely understand if you want to withdraw your invitation. No one but the Baxters know about my past, but it could harm your reputation if it ever got out.
Yes, he supposed it could, but he liked to think the people of Sage Creek were better than that. Of course, if Harold Thompson or Charles Jones found out, he had no doubt they would use the information to try and ruin him. Still, he liked Miss Lockwood. She was kind and resourceful. She'd been a big help around the store, and she was pretty.
I don't care what anyone else thinks, and I'd still really like to take you to church.
She blinked at him, surprise in her eyes.
You would?
He reached for her hand.
Yes, I would.
Then I guess my answer is yes,
she said with a hesitant smile.